This afternoon from JetBlue Park in Fort Myers, Florida, the Red Sox take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Sox with a mini 4-game winning streak going, but far more importantly, the starting pitching is rounding into form. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. As you know, on St. Patrick's Day, everybody wears red. I'm Dave O'Brien alongside Steve Lyons and Garrett Austin. Great to have you with us. And, Steve, talk about the starting pitching. Rick Porcello looked pretty darn good last night, threw 5 innings. He was really happy with the last inning he worked. Drew Pomeranz a couple of days ago, he pitched a bullpen. You've got some news on Stephen Wright, too.
Yeah, Stephen Wright had a controlled batting practice session today. He threw 3 innings. He came out of it feeling great. He said he could even throw more if he wanted to, but they're trying to take it easy on that knee. He said every time he's thrown, he's felt better and better. He's saying that he thinks he can be ready for the start of the season. Everyone else seems to think he's not going to be ready. You say, hey, not so fast. He feels great. Pomeranz is going to throw a controlled session tomorrow, and Erod is going to go in a minor league game 4 innings on Thursday. So guys are starting to get there.
That rotation not set, but it is interesting, as you point out. Stephen Wright has been talking this way all through spring training. Maybe someone will listen to him at this point, but he's feeling pretty darn good. Red Sox taking on the Rays. Xander Bogaerts in the lineup, hitting .385, looking very confident at the plate. Join us for the first pitch in just a moment. Training game on Nesson is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Beautiful sunshine here in Florida today. Red Sox about to take on the Tampa Bay Rays from JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Red Sox celebrating St. Patty's Day wearing green and white with green caps. I believe the Red Sox first donned the green in Winter Haven back in 1990 when Roger Clemens purchased caps and stirrups for the ball club. Let's find out what Garrett Austin is working on today. Garrett?
Thanks, OB. Well, as you mentioned, the Red Sox are wearing special uniforms today. We're going to talk about that. And Matt Barnes recently changed his number. I will tell you why. And today was another really big day for Stephen Wright. I've got the details and an update on this. And the most talked about reporter at camp this year has been Buchanan. We're going to talk about that as well as clubhouse reaction to his dance moves. OB?
Dance moves of Jim Buchanan. Can't wait for that. He's been the talk of camp so far.
It's an excellent reporter.
And an excellent reporter. Give you a look at the starting lineup today for the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Cash. They come in with Adeiny Echeverria, the shortstop. He's going to be their everyday guy at that position and having a good spring, hitting over 400. Ken Wong is at third base with Carlos Gomez, the veteran, the designated hitter. Brad Miller at first base and the cleanup man. Jesus Sucre will do the catching And bat fifth, Micah Johnson at second base. Jason Coates in left, Brandon Snyder in right, and Johnny Field is the center fielder and the number 9 hitter. Alex Cora and Kevin Cash were teammates with the Red Sox back in 07 and 08, and they remained pretty close. They helped the Red Sox to the postseason in each of those years. Red Sox winning the World Series, of course, in 2007, and lost to the Rays in 2008 in the American League Championship Series, 4-3. I thought that Red Sox team was as good as any that won a championship.
You're right about that. It was just kind of a stumble in that series, but you remember at that point in time, Tampa Bay was no slouch themselves.
The young David Price coming out of the bullpen. Well, here's the right-hander Justin Haley. He's a minor leaguer going for the Red Sox today. 1-0 so far for the spring, a 180 earned run average. He was drafted by the Red Sox in the 6th round in 2012. Spent his first 5 seasons before a slew of transactions brought him to Minneapolis and to the Twins for his major league debut last year. Made 10 bullpen appearances for the Twins last season, and he went 0-0 with an ERA around 6. He gets the nod today for the Red Sox here on St. Patrick's Day.
Let's check out the defense for the Red Sox today. Brock Holt making a start out there in left field. Bradley Jr. in center. Martinez in right. He's been bouncing back and forth on the corners. In the infield, it's Marrero, Bogarts, Nunez, and Hanley Ramirez at first base. And the battery there, Haley and Sandy Leon behind the plate doing the catching. Haley's definitely the definition of a long armer, isn't he? Man, he stretches it out. There's J.D. Martinez out there in right field today.
And a day off for Mookie Betts. The Red Sox are talking about playing J.D. at a corner outfield spot and occasionally moving Mookie over to center to give Jackie Bradley a day off on occasion. And when it occurs at Fenway Park, they'll probably put Andrew Benintendi over in center field and play J.D. in left. That's the plan, as laid forth by Alex Cora.
Well, I remember when they first moved Mookie into the outfield, they were very hesitant of moving him around. They wanted to keep him in right field exclusively. Now, after a couple Gold Gloves, I guess they figure he can go anywhere he wants.
Echeverria for the spring hitting .409 with a homer. And really showed up last year at a big way for Tampa Bay and played a very slick shortstop. Look at the high Sox today. Marrero's got those going. Hit sharply out of the range of Bogarts. And a base hit for Echeverria. So the leadoff man on for Tampa Bay.
That ball was smoked right there, and it's got that spin. It's almost like a slider down and away from Bogarts. The more he tried to get there to catch it, the farther it went away from him. That's how hard this ball is hit. Spinning away from Bogey. Watch him try to get there, but he just can't reach it.
Here's Wong, the third baseman, checking in at 273, looking to bunt and flicks it foul. And Red Sox winners last night. Evening game here at JetBlue, 4-2 over the Minnesota Twins. Rick Porcello went 5 solid innings.
A little trouble early on, as he generally does. He has those first inning jitters sometimes. He was all over the place, but then settled right in nicely. Everything was working good for him. It's a good look at Rick and what he was using. Just sinking fastball right there, and had that going really good after a while. And this is the pitch that he's been working a lot on, that same sinker in on the lefties. Good breaking ball right there. His changeup was working nice. Had everything going.
Well, Porcello said his last inning was by far his best inning of the spring. Alex Cora said, like Price and Sale, he's right where we want him to be, especially the way that Rick pitched that last inning. He said, we're very pleased. Porcello's last couple of starts have been very solid. He's got a couple more to go before March 29th.
It was an odd situation because of the 6 o'clock start and the way the sun was setting at the field. The sun was really no problem for the outfielder. It was more of the problem for the first baseman and the pitcher and catcher. They had a tough time seeing each other early on.
2-1 popped up out of play.
Porcello said that I couldn't really tell. I couldn't tell what signs he was putting down. Swihart couldn't see him very well. It was a really weird situation that you don't see come up in the game very often at all.
Red Sox also expected to use Matt Barnes today, Brandon Workman, Bobby Pointer, and a right-hander Marcus Walden. Brian Johnson tomorrow against the Pirates. And Chris Sale on Monday against Philadelphia, right back here at JetBlue.
A lot of the guys wearing those face masks attached to their helmets now. I talked to Hanley about the reason he's doing it, and he says, I'm jumping the gun here. He said, guys are getting hit. I'm going to put this thing on before I get hit.
Echeverria with the lead. Hanley Ramirez holding him there, and a swing and a miss. He got him. Wong fans, one man away in the first inning.
Good breaking ball right there from Haley. Down and into the lefties. Tough one to hit. Now you watch his motion. He really drops his right pitching arm way behind him before he brings it up to throw it.
Here's the veteran outfielder Carlos Gomez, the DH today. 267, no home runs. Haley, born in California. 6'5", about 234 pounds.
Really drops that arm behind him, even more pronounced out of his windup. He's got to be quicker out of the stretch.
A couple of years ago, Haley won 13 games in the Red Sox minor league system between Portland and the Paw Sox, and we mentioned he was involved in several transactions after that, including he was a Rule 5 guy. Red Sox got Haley back last July in accordance with the Rule 5 draft rules, and he wound up for a short time back with the Paw Sox. He went 1-2, but a 2.66 ERA in 7 starts, so he looked pretty good.
Nothing wrong with that.
And he puts away another one. He fans Gomez attacking him. 2 down.
That's just good old country hardball right there. He just blew this away upstairs in the strike zone with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Brings up Brad Miller's at first base, sitting at 500 for the spring. Runner at first. And fly down the left field line. Brock Holt's out there today heading for that corner, but can't get to it. Andrew Benintendi's been, of course, playing left field for the most part here in the spring, but he went 0 for 2 against Minnesota yesterday. That snapped a 12-game hitting streak for him, which actually goes back to spring training of last year. We even keep track of hitting streaks in spring training.
In years previous. That hitting streak dates back to 1964 when he was in camp. You know, it's amazing some of the things we'll pay attention to. Tell you what, he went 0 for 2, but he had 2 really good at bats actually. Saw some tough left-handed pitching in that game.
Guys, we have 4 and 5.
1-1, tough pitch and knocked down by Leon. The runner will hold it first.
4 and 5.
Sandy Leon getting the catch today. Red Sox with plenty of regulars in that lineup. Jackie Bradley in center, JD Martinez in right, Eduardo Nunez, Andrew Bogarts, Hanley Ramirez. Two down. Haley trying to make it 3 consecutive Ks. Just a glorious day here. Another sellout at JetBlue. Had a record crowd here Thursday against Toronto. 10,179. That set the record for this park.
Sell out every game. Jammed in here today, aren't they? Goodness.
Sure are. And a 2-2. Line drive, a slicer. Holt on the move, can't get it. Fair ball. Into third base comes Echeverria. He'll stop there. Down to second with a double. Miller, who continues to swing a very good bat this spring. Second and third for Tampa Bay.
Miller certainly turned himself into a big power threat when he got to Tampa Bay. He used to be sort of a light hitting guy. He came out and just swings from the heels every time. Now it wasn't that bad a pitch. He just did a great job of hitting it the other way. Holt gets it back into third before anyone can score.
Sucre at .217 in the Grapefruit League with 1 home run. Now Miller's an interesting case because they're trying to figure out where to play the guy. He's not a good defender. But a couple of years ago he hit 30 homers and drove in 81 runs.
Yeah, he just came out hacking. I mean, I think his career high before that was 11. When he was in Seattle, he was just kind of a middle infielder, light hitting guy, and then he went down to Tampa Bay and started swinging from his heels, it seemed like. 30 home runs.
Big fall off last year, though. He dropped down to 9 and he hit just .201.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out where to put him. Echeverria the runner at third and Miller at second with 2 gone, and Haley having some trouble with the spikes here. He's falling behind 3-0 on Sucre. And pounded in to make it 3-1.
Sucre got into 62 games last year for Tampa Bay, his career high.
And he'll take ball 4. So Haley running into some problems now. The base is all loaded up for Micah Johnson. And he's been one of their best spring hitters. He's hitting .385. No place to put him. Not much of a breeze at all today. Very gentle breeze out towards center. No factor. But of course the sun is often a factor. We've seen a lot of drop balls this spring.
Yeah. We were doing a real interesting drill before last night's ball game. They had a lot of the outfielders, a lot of the just everyday players out in center field. And they had the pitching machine set up on the mound, and the pitching machine was hitting high fly balls to center field, but they start the player on his back with his back to the play. So he had to stand up and then find the ball and then shield his eyes and make the play. It was kind of an interesting thing to watch. Generally, your center fielder doesn't have a starting position from lying down.
0-2 on Johnson.
Call your time range, okay?
Yep.
Last year or so.
Haley trying to get out of it. And he does. He struck him out. He struck out 3 men in the inning. And he leaves them loaded here in the first.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance.
Bottom of the first coming your way. Red Sox in Tampa Bay. 0-0. Red Sox facing right-hander Austin Pruitt today. And here's the Boston lineup. It'll be Eduardo Nunez at the top at second base. Jackie Bradley in center field today, hitting out of the 2 slot. Andy Ramirez at first. JD Martinez in right field. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, number 5 man, with Mitch Moreland the designated hitter. Brock Holt is in left. Sandy Leon does the catching. And Devin Marrero is at third. Against Pruitt, 1-2 for the spring. ERA of 3.18. He's in the mix for a bullpen spot for Tampa Bay. And that bullpen's going to get a lot of use this season. Remember, Kevin Cash announced that Tampa Bay is going to be using a bullpen by committee for that 5th spot.
Yeah, possibly go with 4 starters. Kind of ironic, though. This kid actually pitched a lot better when he was a starter. His ERA for the year was over 5. That's not great. But his numbers were better when he was actually got the opportunity to start. Equipment malfunction there for Sucre. Let's look at the defense for the Tampa Bay Rays. Coates, Field, and Snyder in the outfield. Wong, Echeverria, Johnson, and Miller around your infield. Pruitt's the pitcher. Jesus Sucre behind the plate.
Eduardo Nunez to lead it off. So far 125. No home runs this spring for Eduardo. Got a late start with his knee issues. Appears to be running and fielding just fine. Did 308 with the Giants in 76 games and then 321 with the Red Sox. 76 games with San Francisco. He had 4 home runs. In 38 games with the Sox, he hit 8.
Yeah. A little bit better ballpark to hit home runs in Boston, that's for sure.
Serves that one to the shortstop, Echeverria. 1 away.
Well, I know Kevin Cash has announced that Archer will be his opening day starter against the Red Sox. It's no big surprise there. That'll be his 4th opening day start.
Yep, he is their unquestioned ace. Jackie Bradley will climb in at 185 for the spring. No homers. 1 run batted in. Hard hit, but right to first. Miller gobbles that up. 2 away. Pruitt is a Houston kid, and he pitched a brilliant game last season in Houston against Dallas Keuchel, which was the thrill of his career to date, to pitch that well. In that opening series against the Red Sox for Tampa Bay.
Bullpen, he's good. He's a good pitcher. On the third game, March 31st.
Kyle Snyder's their new pitching coach. Jim Hickey left for Chicago to join his old friend Joe Madden with the Cubs. Hanley 265 with a homer and 4 RBIs in the Grapefruit League.
It'd just be so difficult, I think, to go into a season and have the third game of the year being played and you're not even sure who's pitching for you. That's the situation in Tampa Bay these days. Red Sox don't have to worry about that. They do have some question marks as far as who their starters will be, but I doubt you're going to see them put up any graphic that says bullpen is pitching on day 3.
Oh, your conversation with Hanley was interesting about, getting out in front protection wise and potentially getting drilled. I saw Mike Trout about a week ago went to the flap, but it was after he had been hit by a pitch on the helmet.
Yep, he did get hit, and that's what Hanley said. He said, look at Trout. He said, I'm gonna put one of these on before I get hit. I said, does it bother you at all? Can you see it? Is it any problem? He said, nope.
Up the middle for a clean single there. So the Red Sox have their first base runner here this afternoon.
I think that would be my biggest concern, is if I could see it out of the corner of my eye. And this is a pitch that Hanley will hit all day long. Ball up in the zone. Good swing. Gets that front foot down nicely and then airs it out.
If you're interested in doing it, try it out in the spring. Why not? Try it out in the Grapefruit League games. Did you ever wear one?
No one even heard of that kind of a thing when I was playing. I think the first time I ever saw it was Stanton after he got hit. I don't remember anyone wearing one like that before. They're becoming common. In Hanley's case, it might help the helmet stay on his head. Won't be falling off all the time.
JD Martinez hitting .375. Looking for that first home run here in Florida.
Finally figured out why JD Martinez has his name, JD Martinez, on his back. Of course, when he played in Detroit, there was Victor Martinez, so they had the initials. But then he just said he liked the way it looked, so he wanted to keep it that way always.
Julio Daniel Martinez. Did get into the postseason last year with Arizona. 3 games against the Dodgers. He hit .364 with a home run. He had also appeared with the Tigers in a division series against the Orioles in 2014. He hit 2 home runs in that series. In right field today, three and two.
I find it kind of amazing that on the 40-man roster, he is the only addition from last year's team. There have been some subtractions from that roster, but only one guy. They knew who they wanted. They went out and got him.
Hanley on the move, and it's cut on and missed for strike 3. That'll retire the side. 1 hit, 1 left, and no score after 1.
Welcome
Park, and happy St. Patrick's Day. The Red Sox are wearing their special green St. Patrick's Day jerseys, caps, and socks, and it's believed that the first time the Sox wore the green was in 1990 in Winter Haven when Roger Clemens purchased stirrups and caps for the entire team. And OB Steve, here's a fun little fact. Jimmy Walsh is the only player in Red Sox history to be born in Ireland, and he played 70 games for the Sox in 1916 and 1917. And guys, I've got my lucky green shirt on. How about you? Come on.
It's I'm glad it's lucky for you because we didn't get any. We didn't get any at our mailbox today. I'm surprised. That's why we went with the red today. At least we match
and stand out.
But these aren't lucky. The deep short gobbled up. Bogarts with a lengthy throw, but will never get him. And Coates is on with a leadoff single. How many times on your way into the ballpark today did someone stop you and go, you know what day it is today, Steve?
Yes, at least 15. Yeah. Where's your green?
I'm like, you know, I was told when I was a kid, I don't know if this is true or not, that if you are Irish, you know, with a name like O'Brien, you don't have to wear green.
Oh, it's just in you?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I had some green.
Got a little bit going on there. So that's my very, very weak defense. But we didn't have any green shirts.
I'm half Irish as well, so there you go.
Jimmy Foley's got it going.
Nice.
A lot of our crew. With Billy. Resplendent. That one golfed on a shot to left field, but Brock Holt is there to put it away. Brennan Snyder retired, and Johnny Field is next. That's our director, Mike Narachi, getting into the swing of things. The beard and everything.
Yeah. Thought that was Kimbrel for a minute.
And Craig Kimbrel, of course, has been throwing in Boston. He's been getting his work in. The Red Sox are very, very happy with his progress. And I think most of you are aware of the heart surgery, his little girl, Lydia, and the way the club has rallied around Craig, and the way Alex Kors come out several times and said, we feel like he'll be in great shape for opening day. He has a ridiculous work ethic anyway. And the reports out of Boston are that he's further ahead now than he has been in many springs. So they're delighted with his progress.
And his daughter is doing well and headed in the right direction.
Strike on field. Runner at first base and one down. Justin Haley on the hill here today, 26 years old. By the way, talking about Craig Kimbrel and Tampa Bay, he had 9 appearances against the Rays last year. Kimbrel allowed no hits and retired 27 out of 28 men he faced with 23 strikeouts.
Jeez.
And he walked 1 man. That is insane.
You know, there's a long list of teams like that he does stuff to. I mean, he strikes out 2 out of 3 almost every time he goes out there.
23 strikeouts out of 28 batters faced.
That's like you were pitching to a little league team.
Kimbrel, by the way, 11 for 11 in his career in save opportunities against them. 2-2 to Field.
It's amazing that the Red Sox will have played Tampa Bay 5 times here in spring training and then 10 times in the month of April. Gonna get sick of seeing each other.
Adeiny Echeverria on deck, swatted at and missed. That is 4 strikeouts for Haley. Got 2 down in the inning.
A couple good changeups in that at bat.
Red Sox spring training games in Nesson are brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. He struck out 3 in the first inning and another man here in the second. Echeverria started out with a base hit first inning. Slapped and foul off third base. Past one of the green bases.
Yeah. Haley seems to have settled in here a little bit better in this inning. Even though he struck out 3 guys in that last inning, his first inning of work, got a lot of help. Had some guys swinging at some bad pitches. Gomez struck out on a pitch that was over his head. Johnson took 3 feeble hacks at pitches that weren't over the plate. This inning, much closer to the strike zone, using that changeup a lot more effectively as well.
Karen mentioned Jimmy Walsh, the only Red Sox player ever to be born in Ireland. In addition, Patsy Donovan managed the club in 1910 and 1911. He went 159 and 147. He was from Queenstown, Ireland. Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Justin Haley, who has 5 through 2 innings.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance. It takes precision, like how we're #1 in claims prevention. It takes hustle, like our over 99%
and Suffolk University. That's the next producer, presented in part by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Bottom of the second, Bogarts, Moreland, and Brock Holt against Austin Pruitt. Xander 385 with a homer. Been locked in pretty good so far this spring.
Come on,
The dead away center and field there to make that grab for a quick out.
It's one of the differences we've seen in the spring too. He'll go up there and hack at that first pitch. A lot of people thought that Xander took too many called strikes, especially early in the count. Not this time. Standing up tall, that's the other thing that he's been working with Tim Hires with. Trying not to bend over at the waist so much and serve balls into right field.
Moreland today's DH at a $136 with 1 home run. He had 22 homers, drove in 79 runs last year for the Red Sox, hitting .246. Mitch played his college baseball at Mississippi State, where he was a standout. He hit .332. His career for Mississippi State, excellent baseball program.
Been some big leaguers come out of there. Will Clark go to Mississippi State?
He did.
Bobby Thigpen.
You say Jeff Brantley. Yeah, a lot of talent. 1-2.
Palmeiro.
Rafael Palmeiro. Yep.
And I want to say Thigpen, Palmeiro, and Will Clark were basically all there at the same time. Pretty good team.
I think Palmeiro will ever get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, you know, he was the one guy that waved his finger at Congress. I had always been of the opinion that I thought with time all the guys would eventually get in. Because I just think it's so difficult to wipe out an era. You can call it a bad era, and it certainly was a black eye for the game of baseball, but it happened.
Two Hopper to Miller. He'll take care of that. 2 up and 2 down.
And, you know, David, I don't know what your opinion on that is, but, you know, I believe that there are going to be guys getting into the Hall of Fame that did use some PEDs, and either nobody knew about it, or, you know, they slipped through. And so then, you know, where's the fairness there? If I knew I did it and I got into the Hall of Fame, you did it, and they're saying, oh, you can't be in, you know, it's still not an even playing field no matter what. Because you know there's going to be guys in the Hall of Fame that did it.
I think you're seeing guys now who were at times in their career suspected of using performance enhancers, and they're getting voted in. Some of them anyway.
Yeah.
But guys like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not coming close. And Palmeiro, I mean, no one even talks about Rafael Palmeiro.
And his numbers are first ballot Hall of Fame numbers. Ridiculous
under normal circumstances. Sure, 3,000 hits and 500
600
homers.
Did he get 600 homers? I don't know. A lot. 500 at least.
Hold with a gentle ground ball. Echeverria sets him down. Red Sox go 1-2-3 here in the second. We have no score on St. Patty's Day.
Protect the plate now, Scotty.
We've got a
Well, Red Sox fans, spring training is here, and on MLB.TV you can watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply for regular season games. Make sure you visit MLB.TV for details. Picture perfect afternoon here at spring training. That took some work.
Some people go all out for St. Patty's Day. How do you see through that thing?
Justin Haley's had some impressive moments here at times. He did give up a couple of hits, a walked a man in the first inning, loaded the bases, but he also struck out 3. Last inning a base hit, struck out 2. And he jumps in front on Wong, who whiffed in the first inning. Little blooper to left center that'll dunk down for a base hit. So Wong will reach to begin the third for Tampa Bay.
Good pitch, bad results for Haley. Jammed him on that pitch. Still just died in there for a base hit. Here's what Haley's looked like so far with his strikeouts. There's kind of a high breaking ball up and in. This pitch over Gomez's head almost. He swings at it. Bad check swing with the bases loaded. And then Echeverria right there swinging through a high fastball.
Gomez 0 for 1, struck out first inning. Red Sox up the middle looking for the double play. It's Bogarts at short, Nunez at second, snap toss down to first, won't get Wong.
That's not a good thing to do, dive back into first base, because the first baseman's going to just turn around and do a slap tag onto the base. Hanley just caught the ball, turn around, slap tag him. You get your face in the way of this tag right here, it's going to hurt. Boom. I used to like to catch the ball in the web of my first baseman's glove because it was just out there by itself, really, and you could hit the guy on the arm with just the ball. And it would have hurt a lot more than if you tagged him with the glove.
And you enjoyed that?
I enjoyed that. Don't be messing around. Don't be forcing us to try to pick you off.
Trying to hold up, and he went down on a knee after the swing and the miss, and it's 2-2. Gomez, another one of those guys who wears the flap.
I don't know if there's an official name for that. Going with flap.
Why not?
The face flap.
Face guard. And on deck, Brad Miller wearing one too.
They're in style.
Tampa Bay does have 4 hits. They have yet to score a run, though. Haley with a 2-2 not to be made. Back in is Wong. Among the Red Sox who've gotten hot lately is Mookie Betts, who began his Grapefruit League season going 0 for 16, but sits safely each of his last 5 games, going 5 for 12, and he has scored 6 runs. And an absolute bomb here last weekend.
That got him started.
Little pop up, Hanley on the march near the dugout, but it's off that railing. So 2-2 on Gomez, who always takes a prodigious hack. Comes out of his shoes.
Yeah, he and then followed by Miller, who's doing the same thing.
Frankly, who doesn't today?
Launch angle. Swing hard and uppercut it. My dad used to tell me that all the time. Swing hard in case you hit it.
Haley with a 2-2. Into center field solidly. Wong scampers into second base. So it's back-to-back singles. Good contact for Gomez. Well, today's Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Sports, concerts, theater, and more. The best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
I think Haley was wondering how that ball didn't hit him.
So was I.
Almost went right through him, and then he kind of danced around afterwards a little bit like, wow, how did that miss me?
Brad Miller with a double in the first inning. And there's two men on base with nobody out, no score.
We have a shift on for Miller here, and Devin Marrero, the lone infielder on the left-hand side, has to really be conscious of a stolen base. You see how he's almost turned. He'll get into his defensive position and then turn to his left a little bit to get one last peek at the base runner so that he's preventing anyone from trying to steal third base if he's not watching.
16 years, 4 years and 2.5 years.
Dave, this is the situation that I've talked a lot about where Bogaerts has said that he's still working on his comfort level when he's on the second base side. If this ball gets hit to Devin Marrero, they're going to have to try to turn a double play with technically Bogaerts being your second baseman. He's going to be the one that takes the throw at second base. He's never done that before.
Would not chase. Back on April 14th of last year at Fenway Park, Miller finished a double shy of the cycle. And during a 4-game series at Fenway, he became the first Ray in franchise history ever to triple twice in a series at Fenway Park. He said many of his best games of his career against the Red Sox for some reason.
Isn't that weird how certain guys, Mookie Betts in Baltimore, for some reason my favorite team to hit against was Milwaukee. Always seemed to have good days against them.
3-2 to Miller. He put him away. That was pretty nasty. And he strikes out another man to give Haley 6 Ks.
Just good breaking ball right here. Cut fastball, slider, one of the two. Down and in. It's a dangerous pitch to throw if you don't locate.
So the way it's going here today, it's either a hit or a strikeout.
Bailey remind you a little bit of Clay Buchholz?
A little bit. Yep. Maybe a stouter version of Clay. Tried a breaking ball on Sucre, who walked in the first inning. Certainly a double play candidate. He's their catcher. Two on and 1 out. Haley, a 26-year-old from California. The runners go. Stroked into left. Here comes Brock Holt to make the catch, and the runners will have to get back, and the runners have crossed, and there's going to be a double play here to retire the side. Base running mistake certainly by Tampa Bay. Brock Holt went and got it, though. Give him credit there. And we have no score here in the 3rd inning.
Here's how old
ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Tampa Bay just doubled up moments ago. Carlos Gomez just kept on coming after Brock Holt made a running catch.
I don't know what Gomez is thinking at all. They're both runners are on the move. Guy there, he realizes that the ball is going to get caught, so he's going back to tag up. Watch Gomez. Up, here we go. Just going to keep going. Is it possible he thought there were 2 outs already, where he's just going to keep running?
I'm betting. Brock Holt quickly got it in for the twin killing, so the Red Sox get out of that jam. And now come up to bat, 0-0 in the third. Sandy Leon will lead it off, then Devin Marrero and Eduardo Nunez is the leadoff man today.
Made a crazy double play on an infield fly rule in last night's ball game that we might let you get to take a look at.
I grew up with the right here.
Sandy with a high fly to right field. Snyder gets underneath it though. There to make the catch.
Here's the play from last night, Dave. Bases were loaded, 1 out. Pop fly with Swihart catching. Porcello still pitching in the game, straight up in the air. But Swihart loses track of it and doesn't catch it. Now, nobody should be moving because the infield fly rule has already called the hitters out. Porcello thinks he can tag home for a force play, but that's not correct. Now, Eric Ibar comes home to score now before Brock Holt can tag out Bobby Wilson to finish off the double play. None of the runners should have tried to move anywhere, but they did, and they messed it up. And still scored a run out of it.
Shouldn't be trying to move, but they can.
Yeah. They always explain that rule to the hilt. Infield fly, batters out, runners advance at their own risk. And so they've always said the same thing since we were this high.
Sure. It's going to be a fair ball in front of the bag and on in time to retire Marrero. 2 up and 2 down with Nunez on the way up. The Red Sox had that bizarre circumstance where a triple play was executed last year in a game at Fenway Park. When everybody thought an infield fly was going to be called and was not.
And I'm pretty sure, even though Ibar would have scored, had there been no outs, the Red Sox would have got a triple play on that play because they had Granite running from first to second, and they already had Bobby Wilson off of second base.
Nunez 0 for 1. He's tapped to the shortstop. No score in the third.
That would have been bizarre. A triple play, but a run scores.
Eduardo, another guy with 1 flap down. And 1-1 knocked foul.
Yeah, the other thing, Dave, that you see so common these days are guys that will hit wearing sunglasses like Nunez is right now. I could never do that. Number one, I don't see well when I'm wearing sunglasses, but the bridge would always be in my way. I could see that bridge of the glasses. I'm trying to look at you to try to find a pitch. I don't want the shadow of the bridge of the glasses to be in my way.
That'll drop for a base hit. Nunez out with a 2-out single in the third inning off of Austin Pruitt.
A little double box for you. We get to see Nunez get his base hit, and we get to see him enjoying it over there on first base. Our guys are getting very creative with this. We could triple box some stuff every once in a while.
Jackie Bradley 0 for 1 with a grounded at first base. We talked about the fact that Red Sox plan to play Mookie Betts a little bit in center field this season. The idea is during the season he'll play center field when Jackie Bradley takes a day off, allowing JD Martinez to play right field. Andrew Benintendi will play a little bit in center field in home games. JD would play left in those, but only at Fenway Park.
They have to consider each guy's strengths defensively and the different problems that Fenway Park presents with the triangle and the left field wall and everything else. One of the toughest outfields in all of baseball to cover.
Red Sox with 2 singles so far. Hanley Ramirez has 1, Nunez the other. These 2 clubs will play one final spring training game at Charlotte Sports Park coming up on Wednesday, and will not see each other again until opening day. On March 29th at the Trop. As we mentioned earlier, Kevin Cash says that it'll be Chris Archer, his ace, to go for Tampa Bay. And the 0-2 from Pruitt. Got him to chase it, elevating, and he struck him out. Side retired. No runs to hit, 1 man left. Still 0-0. More here from JetBlue No Score Sox and the Rays. You can enjoy the Fenway experience with your group in 2018. Red Sox group outings are the perfect way to entertain your clients, boost employee morale, and a lot more. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. No runs on 5 hits for Tampa Bay. Nothing across on a couple of hits for the Red Sox. Micah Johnson will lead things off here. 0 for 1 in the game. He struck out first inning.
Hector Velasquez was supposed to start this game. I heard a couple different reasons why he wasn't. I wasn't sure what you heard, Dave. That basically they said if Velasquez makes the team as the possible #5 starter, he may have to face Tampa Bay in the opening series, and they decided they'd rather not have Tampa Bay see him right now.
That was it. I thought you had some great stuff earlier today on Stephen Wright trying to make his way back to that rotation. That's up the middle for a clean base hit by Johnson. And about something that Stephen Wright's been saying really all spring, don't write me off for the opening day roster just yet.
I saw what you did there with the punt. That's about the third shot right up the middle on Haley that he's walking a tightrope out there. He's able to get out of the way every time. Yeah, Stephen has said, look, I'm not sure how I'll feel tomorrow. That's always the key. But so far, every time I've pitched, I've always felt fine the next day. And I don't anticipate any problems. He basically said if he can get about 5 innings in big league games, he's ready to go.
Well, if he can return to form, you know, a couple of years ago when he was really dealing, what a huge lift for the Red Sox. That one thrown away by Haley. Johnson takes off for second.
Boy, if you're going to throw it away, you might as well let everybody know it. He threw that into the dugout. Wow.
So Tampa Bay with a man in scoring position with nobody out. Six hits for the Rays, 6 Ks for Haley. Play on, but no throw. It's a very odd pitching line, particularly for a guy who has not given up a run yet.
Yeah. It's hard to do.
He has walked one man.
He's getting his strikeouts at the right time.
Talking about Stephen Wright, this is from earlier. Live batting practice today here at JetBlue.
He said what was great about it too was that, you know, there was no L screen in front of him. There was no batting cage. He says it's visually a very different look when they do that. He said I felt like I was pitching.
Another base hit ripped into left field. Coach 2 for 2. They're going to hold the runner at third as it's cut off on the infield. Back-to-back singles here for the Rays. And here comes Alex Cora.
Now watch Brock Holt just do a good job of getting this ball in, making sure that he makes a throw that can be cut off. The runner's not going. Make sure that the runner from first doesn't continue on anywhere.
So that'll do it for Justin Haley today. A lot of strikeouts, but also 7 hits. He leaves behind a couple of base runners, and we'll take the break and be back with more in just a moment. Hey, tonight the Bruins continue to chase the Lightning for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Leading the charge, the Bruins and the Lightning. The coverage begins tonight at 6 on NESN. So runners will be on at first and third here with Snyder the batter against Trevor Kelly, the Submariner. 38 appearances at A ball and AA last year with a 2.36 ERA. He can be tough to hit.
Hey, he comes from down under. Strange too. I mean, if you see him work out on the backfields. This guy is put together like a linebacker. You usually think of sidearm guys as little guys, you know, that are kind of flinging it up there. He's coming at you hard from over there. Very difficult to pick up this motion. Like a sidearm, short armor guy. Couldn't be more opposite than what Haley was just doing.
Kelly working on St. Patty's Day. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Guerin's going to have a report on that rather unusual looking reporter. Does bear somewhat of a resemblance. Oh, got him in foul territory. He got smoked. Micah Johnson had no time to react.
Now that's why you stand in foul territory. So if the ball hits you, you're not out. But he was working his way back towards the line and got drilled. He's trying to act like it doesn't hurt, but it does. Ooh.
2-2.
Kelly was looking for a strike 3 on that pitch right there. See if he goes back to the slider.
Right there, 2-2 and 0, 0 the out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 0 outs.
Tampa Bay's been knocking on the door most of the day here. It loaded the bases, didn't score in the first inning. Had a base runner in the second, didn't score. First 2 men reached on singles in the third before they ran into a double play to end the inning and get out of it. And now back-to-back singles by Johnson and Coates. Here in the fourth. And that's going to drill him to load up the bases. So Snyder nowhere to hide there, and they're all filled up.
Now Kelly's been dealing with a little bit of elbow tendonitis in spring training down here so far this season. That one got away from him. Snyder has one of those little elbow guards on, but that one didn't help him at all. It looked like it got him back in the back of the armpit.
So loaded here for Johnny Field, the center fielder. Red Sox do get activity in the bullpen. Bobby Pointer is starting to work. He's had a good spring. He's impressed. The Red Sox need somebody to do that right now.
Alex Cora earlier today said Pointer's definitely in the mix.
Scalded, caught by Bogart's play at second, safe. One down, nearly a double play.
Watch what Bogarts does, though. He looks at all his options while he's in the air catching the ball. He's up there. He first looks at third, looking to see where his options are, then goes back to second base. And I have no problem with him doing that. He wants to make sure that the guy on third base isn't tagging and running if he makes a throw over here to second. Plus, he had to come down out of the air.
Water, peanuts.
But from here, I thought he got him at second.
Spring training.
No review here.
No review.
Echeverria, a single and a strikeout. It's funny how you become accustomed to that. You start looking to your monitor right away. Okay, someone's going to review this. It is not used in spring training. There's another look.
It looked like he probably got back in there. Nice heads-up play, though, by everybody involved.
Had some zip on it. Past Echeverria, who has singled and struck out.
We had to figure Kelly was basically looking to come in and get a strikeout and a ground ball, but he hit the first guy. Found a way to get that out, but now he needs that ground ball.
Instead, down he goes swinging. Sox pitching staff today, when they've needed big strikeouts, have gotten them because they've been in trouble most of the day. And Cora comes out and he wants Pointer here to face Wong. So Kelly does good work naturally on this day.
Of course.
Gets a nice hand. Bobby Pointer coming on as a chance to make this ball club 2 down. Bases are all loaded up here. We're back with more in a moment.
Charlie Moore.
Still no score here. Today's Red Sox spring training game at Nesson is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. For Red Sox fans, go for tickets to their favorite events. Visit aceticket.com right now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garrett Austin with you here from JetBlue. Bases are loaded here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Tian Wong, the third baseman, has struck out and singled. Feels like everybody has in the Tampa Bay lineup. They struck out and singled. Now, Pointer has developed into a story. We started following Bobby. He was 25 years old early in the spring with a succession of really good outings. You look at what he's done so far. 1.29 ERA. He's out of Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. Last year at Salem and Portland. Made 27 appearances at AA. His ERA was under 1.
He's got to be comfortable in Florida. From here, went to Florida.
Two down.
He's very deceptive somehow because he's not a speed burner out there. He's not throwing the ball by you. He tops out at about 90. Got to think you're going to see his breaking ball in this situation right here. Down and away.
1-2-2.
Well, if he can come in and get Wong with the bases loaded in a tight spot like this, could be a major part of his story this spring.
That's exactly why he's in this situation too. Alex Cora now putting him into more tough game situations that he may face during the season.
The 2-2. He's run it full. So the Rays with a man at every base in a 0-0 game. 2 down, full count.
Really surprised we didn't see a breaking ball out of one of those two pitches. Now You got to think you're sitting on a fastball in this case. Having trouble getting together there with Sandy Leon on what pitch they do want to throw.
So Sandy will trot it out. Two singles and a hit batsman in the inning. And a very hard hit line drive by Johnny Field that Xander Bogaerts nearly had a double play on. Kelly struck out Echeverria, and now Pointer trying to get Wong and get out of it.
It's the biggest pitch of his spring training right there, and he's got to do it again. He did come with the fastball. He and Sandy wanted to make sure they were on the same page. I just think Pointer probably said, I have to throw my fastball here. Can't afford to throw a breaking pitch up there and walk a guy with the situation that I'm in this spring training. Another one at 90 miles an hour.
Bobby's first year in professional baseball was 2015 at Lowell. He's not pitched higher than Double-A, but has a chance to make this ball club as a lefty out of the bullpen. 3-2 again. Line drive and a base hit into left field. Johnson is in. Coates coming around. Here's a play at the plate. He's safe. Throw down to second and not in time. Wong wins the battle. A 2-run hit to make it 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Well, he went with the slider here, 3-2. He changed up a little bit, threw a different pitch, but it wasn't the slider that you could throw when you had a 1-2 count. You have to throw that one for a strike. Gets hit into left field, 2-run score there. Give Wong a little credit on his at-bat. Hung in there nicely.
Well, they'd been pressing the matter all day and finally break through, and now comes Carlos Gomez with runners at second and third. Gomez has struck out and singled. Apparently forgot how many outs there were and ran into a double play in the third inning. And it's 0-2.
First pitch change up to Gomez, then the fastball.
0-2.
I think if anything in that at bat to Wong, I think maybe Pointer will sit down and question his own pitch selection after he was way ahead in the count, continued to throw fastballs and ended up running the count 3-2, and then he had to throw the fastball until he finally flipped that slider up there that got hit.
Gomez in his career has been an outstanding defender as an outfielder. And a 2-2. Waved at and missed. He got him. Got him with that changeup. But 2-run score, 2-0 the Rays in the fourth inning.
Tonight, the country's premier hockey
Dugout Suite is the first and only field-level private space in Fenway. It's a brand new experience, puts you and your guests closer to the action than ever before. Email premiumsales@redsox.com or call 617-226-6912 to learn more about the Jim Beam Dugout Suite. Tampa Bay now in front 2-0. Red Sox coming up against Andrew Kittredge. Big right-handers in the mix as one of their bullpen guys. The feeling that Tampa Bay is going to have a lot of guys up and down from the minors to the big leagues. And with a high fly to dead away center, but Field has it measured. Ramirez now 1 for 2 with a base hit. And J.D. Martinez will be next.
Kittredge, one of those guys that strikes out basically a guy an inning. Did a good job when he came up to the big leagues last season. Low ERA. Got into 15 games at the big league level through 15 1/3 innings. Spent most of his year in Durham.
J.D. 0 for 1. He has struck out. Xander Bogaerts on deck. Sox with only 2 hits so far today. A check swing.
Go, JD.
Kittredge out of Washington, out of Seattle. And 3-2. Good at bat here for J.D. Martinez.
Big step there.
Well, we're delighted to be joined by Red Sox relief pitcher Joe Kelly, joining us downstairs with the headset on, as this one is slapped to the shortstop side. And J.D. Martinez retired. Joe, thanks for being with us. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding. How is your spring so far? Has it been eventful?
To say the least, it's been fun. You know, other than the pitching part, you know, that's been going well. You know, feeling healthy. But the extracurricular activities have been a blast.
So that's the next question everybody wants to know. Have you ever met Jim Buchanan?
No, me? No, not yet. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. It's a dream of yours. Yeah. Really.
It'd be fun.
Well, he is a legend.
Legendary, and his activities in this camp have been the talk of the camp, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been going around a little bit. You know, some people blew my cover, you know, early on, and then the other people, you know, 90% of the people had no idea. So that was the most fun.
Well, you seem like you're having a great deal of fun with this, and you know, you've always had that sense of humor where like all things were a go, but. I think a lot of people were blown away at first. I mean, they saw this guy out here in this long shaggy hair but he was fully credentialed.
Yeah, I know he had a media pass and everything. You know, that's the best part. You know, everyone had to believe it was true because he had the credentials. So you can't say no to a guy that has a space on a piece of paper that says he should be where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he was all legal. We'll have more with Joe Kelly. Is that really Joe Kelly? That's the question. When we come back after the commercial break, 2-0 Tampa Bay. Back here at JetBlue, and there is Mr. Jim Buchanan. Here he goes. Those dance moves, yeah, the talk of camp right now. It's, you know what the most frightening thing about this is not the dance moves, it's the white makeup. Every time it's
hot out here.
It's hot out here.
You got to protect your skin.
Hey, what was the genesis of this? Now, whose idea was this? And the idea to just let you dress up, and I know you're in makeup for quite a while.
3 hours it took, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got here at I think right at 5. So, and then we got out there around 8:40, 8:35, 8:40. So it was a little bit over 3 hours. It was a long process. The ideas came from, so during media day, the Red Sox production team wanted to do something like this because I did it in St. Louis I had like the silicone mask and dressed up as an old man. Said I was an extra tired player, and had the chance to go on and mess around with Nelly the rapper for a little bit. So that kind of stemmed from that. And team, they want to do it during the season. I was like, you know what, I'll have more time and be able to do more things during spring training. So let's try to bang it out in spring training. So like I said, I came early at 5, and they hired these 2 makeup guys who have never done it. As a person, they're used to making people into zombies and doing all that fun stuff for Halloween. So that was their first go at Jim Buchanan, and as you could tell, he was a zombie-like reporter.
He was. And
very zombie-esque.
You ran out day 1 right in the middle of some drills, and you could tell that the coaches, Red Sox coaching staff, they had no idea who you were.
No, that was the best part of it, just because, went out, and I think Vasquez was hitting grounders to the infielders, and I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I was able to get all the way out there to second base, which is amazing. No security came up to me and kicked me off.
You weren't tackled anywhere along the way. I had a few questions. I think, I was afraid to get beat up by, or tackled by a player. So it went well. It just shows you that, like I said, with a media pass and a camera following you, people just let you go anywhere. I probably could have ate dinner with, I don't know, John Henry with Jim Buchanan. Who knows? Because I had a camera and a media pass. I'm not sure that's right, Joe. I don't think anyone should be allowed to do that, right? Go anywhere you want. And you kept screaming as Jim Buchanan, I want a ball. All I want is a ball. Give me a ball.
That's it. If they would have gave me a ball, I would have been out of there. So it wasn't my fault. It's just I just wanted one thing, and it was just a baseball.
You could have come up and done 6 innings of the game.
That would have been fun. The problem is I started doing sprints at the end of the day with some of the guys. Pitchers were conditioning, so I started doing some sprints, and it was warm then, so the makeup started like dripping off my face. So the appearance started to look not as sharp as it did in the beginning, so we had to take it to the house.
It was oozing.
It was oozing with sunscreen.
Now, is there a chance we're going to see more of the legendary Jim Buchanan at some point during this spring, or maybe at another time this season?
I'm not sure this spring, but definitely there's a good chance, throughout the year. Jimmy B will probably want to make a few appearances here and there, so we're going to have to look out for that.
Jimmy B's got stronger thighs than you do.
Oh man, Jimmy B definitely squats, way more weight than I do. I'm not too strong on the squat rack, but Jimmy B, get him in the weight room. He could push around some weight.
Sucre, the batter, after the double by Miller. Is there an actual Jim Buchanan, Joe?
I don't think so. The name, I mean, I Googled Jim Buchanan, and the first thing that popped up was James Buchanan, former president.
Right.
And that, I mean, they came up with the last name. I came up, they're like, what do you want me to call it? I was like, well, I think Jim's a good name. And then they started brainstorming on last names, and they came up with Buchanan. And then, like I said, I Googled it, and nothing major popped up. So I'm sure there's some Jim Buchanan, maybe that's seen the video that's saying that that's his name, but so far so good. Nothing has been plagiarized, so we're off clear there.
Yeah, he's a bizarre character.
Yeah.
There's just no way to put it, and that's obviously intentionally so. You want to make him as out there as you can.
Exactly. It was perfect. You don't want the makeup too good, you don't want it too bad. It wasn't Hollywood-esque, but that's the kind of role, kind of thing we were looking for, honestly. Just a little bit off where you want to question it, but then you have to believe it. Just because, like I said, of the media and the camera, and you just got to take it as it is what it is.
You know, your acting chops are pretty good, because I had several accredited media, just like Mr. Buchanan, come up and say later, you know, we never get to go on the field. You know, we never get to go do that or pick up a baseball. I mean, why is this being allowed?
Exactly.
So I sold it.
I think it's because they have never tried.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be funny if you're the first person to do that. Come up with a new trick.
Sure. Absolutely. And then you picked up a baseball at one point.
And switched arms. Yeah, I went from lefty to righty. Jim Buchanan can do it all. He's a switch thrower, switch hitter. You know, he could play basketball. He likes to skateboard. You know, you never know. He might have his own TV show one day and call him Jimmy Buckets, or you know, Jimmy breakdancing, or just anything with the last name B. Jimmy Bowling. You know, he could do it all.
You know, we saw you last year when you took that almost full length of the floor shot and knocked it down. And we know about your basketball skills. Now, but how closely are you following the NCAA tournament? Who was your pick, by the way? It wasn't Virginia, was it?
In one of my brackets, it was. I mean, just like everyone else, probably picked them.
Right.
I made a few brackets. They're not doing too hot. You know, the year before last, I won, and then last year I came in second. So I had a good couple of years, and this year, you know, it's not looking too great. I think the leader right now is Brian Johnson and Austin Maddox for the brackets, but there's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So you never know. I picked too many upsets, and that kind of hindered me early on.
Yeah, the upset of upsets, of course, last night, UMBC shocking Virginia and really running away with that one. So Brian Johnson's having a pretty darn good spring, all things considered, isn't he? I mean, more ways than just on the hill.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well, and he picked the correct NCAA teams so far to win. So he's doing it all. He's a hybrid. You know, he likes to watch a lot of college sports, and it's even better that he's throwing the ball well for us, and we're going to need him big.
Long way to go, of course, for the NCAA tournament, but he's been a great story this spring. How are you feeling out there? Every time we've seen you on a televised game, you've looked great. How are you feeling?
I feel good. Feeling healthy, feeling strong. You know, I think I've thrown the ball 6 times, and they've all been where I want to be. So I'm very excited going into this year, as you know, second year as a full-time reliever. So looking forward to it, and you know, we have a good team. It's going to be fun. You know, if we just play baseball like we should have a pretty successful season all around.
Play at first base and in time, and Miller down to third with 2 down.
Joe, when you look at the back half of that bullpen, when Kimbrel's throwing and healthy, you got Carson Smith now healthy. Thornburg's going to be coming back soon. You back there. It's no fun after the 6th inning for anyone to face you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good bullpen. You know, we had a good bullpen last year, and then we're adding, you know, a full Carson Smith, you know, for a full year, and then, you know, eventually get Thorny back. So we're adding pieces to a bullpen that was already, you know, had a pretty good season, and that's only going to just make us better. You know, it's 2 guys who have, you know, either closed the game or thrown the 8th inning and set up. So, you know, if we all are doing what we're capable of doing, you know, holding leads is going to be, you know, a good time for, you know, especially our team, because we've had so many guys in that role. So any given night, you know, you could have pretty much 6 8th-inning guys and then a closer. So that's gonna be fun.
Huge part of the Red Sox success a season ago certainly was the great success of that bullpen.
Yeah, last year, like I said, it was a good year. You know, we all pitched to our capabilities and stuck what worked for us. You know, and we didn't try to get out of our comfort zone. You know, if one guy has a good curveball, you know, use it. You know, if a guy's good at throwing the baseball up, use it. A guy good at sinking the ball like Carson, do it. So we kind of just pitched to our strengths and ended up working out well for us.
Are you getting close, Joe, in spring training to the point where you just want to get it going, the real thing? Is it several days away, or is it already there for you?
It's probably a couple days away. You know, I feel like there's always that day in camp where you're like, all right, let's make these games count and let's go on and start playing. But you know, some of our bullpen guys are around that 5-6 outing appearance. You know, and usually try to get, you know, 9, you know, 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. So usually when that hits, that, you know, that 8, 9 outing number, you're pretty much ready to obviously go into the season. And then spring training just starts dragging a little bit at the end, but it's going to come quick. And, you know, it's not one of those years where I'm like, all right, let's get out of here now. So that's good.
Joe, you were always a starter before and enjoyed doing that. Now you're settling in as a reliever. Is it as much fun for you?
Oh yeah, it's great. You know, bullpen's a little different. You know, they stick us out there in right field. It's kind of like we're a fan out there, pretty much. We're so far away, but it's fun. You know, it's a long season, so you kind of have to, you know, make it fun. So last year I got bullpen photos every trip, or you know, one time it was high school photos, one time it was, you know, spirit animals, one time it was, you know, WWE wrestlers. You know, so it was just it was just all different things, and doing stuff like that throughout the year to keep it light, because, you know, 162 is long, and it can get stagnant sometimes, and you can get, you know, a little tired. So to be able to have fun and spice it up, you know, obviously lock it in when it's your time to pitch, but to go out there and you know, have fun with the guys and just talk baseball and you know, play a little seed flick games and stuff like that, that keeps it fun, and that makes the season go by pretty fast.
And that's the beauty of Jim Buchanan, certainly.
Oh yeah, Jimmy B loves to keep it light.
It's all about that. Joe, thanks so much for the visit. Thanks so much for the character as well. I'm kind of looking forward to, you know, the next several seasons. Who's going to show up in your body next year in spring training? What, because you've got something going here now at the acting thing.
I know. You never know. It's something that, you know, I like to keep my options open. You know, maybe take him to Hollywood one day. So we'll find out about that.
All right, Joe. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks to Joe Kelly / Jim Buchanan, live and in person.
You definitely need a guy like Joe on the team, and generally they are guys that are hanging out in the bullpen too.
Yeah. Well, I found that, you know, really good ball clubs have a guy like Joe. You know, like you said, business time is business, but have fun. The season is so darn long.
Yeah.
And you need your teammates laughing. You need guys loose.
Comic relief.
He's got a great sense of humor. Good comic timing too. Runner at second base. 3-0. Tampa Bay with the lead here. Matt Barnes on, also expecting to see perhaps Brandon Workman today and Marcus Walden. We saw Bobby Pointer and Justin Haley earlier, along with Trevor Kelly. 10 hits for the Rays. Two down, a man at second. And a check swing foul.
I can hit it.
Jim Buchanan from Punta Gorda, Florida.
Oh, is that where he's from?
That was what it said on the press credential. Snyder with a fly to left, and he's been hit by a pitch.
Almost just got hit again. He tried to swing at a ball that almost hit him there, that 2 pitches ago.
Breaking ball downstairs. Throw down to second, will not get him. His coach dives back in. Red Sox started 26-year-old Justin Haley today. He'll begin the season in the minor leagues. Pitched into the 4th inning, eventually charged with a couple of runs and 7 hits, although he did strike out 6. Had some good stuff. 3-2 and a breaking ball in there for strike 3. A dandy of a curveball by Barnes to sit him down. A run in, 3-0 Tampa Bay. Game on Nesson is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Red Sox. Sox down 3-0 on this beautiful day in Florida. Certainly enjoyed our visit with Joe Kelly, Red Sox reliever. When he's not throwing 102 miles an hour, he's playing characters that become the talk of camp.
Playing characters,
unbeknownst to his teammates.
Playing characters from his own imagination, and it's a big one.
Mitch Moreland 0 for 1. He's grounded at first. Be followed by Brock Holt and Sandy Leon in the Sox inning.
Big shift on Moreland again.
Mitch last season with a ton of doubles early in the season before he broke that toe in particular.
Got it, got it.
Wound up with 34 doubles. That's a career high for him. In 149 games, hit 22 home runs.
I mean, so I think what she's saying is if I don't go to Mexico, I'm trying to take a little time off anyway. She's here. Every other day for the reports, and that's it.
At first base in the American League last season in the category of defensive runs saved. Both last season and the season before, Mitch Moreland was #1.
I can understand that. He scoops up everything down there, makes everyone else look better.
Strokes that one deep to right field. Really put a charge in that one. Snyder back. It's gone. Moreland touches them all. His second home run of the spring, and the Red Sox are finally on the scoreboard.
I was just about to say one of the dangers of playing a shift on Moreland is that you have to pitch to the shift. You got to pitch him middle in if you're going to do that. You know he likes to hit the ball the other way, but he's not afraid to turn on something middle in, and he's going to hit it into the shift. But in this case, over the shift. That's just a nothing breaking ball middle in. That's the happy zone for most left-handed hitters. Gets it up in the air and out of the ballpark.
So that'll make it 3-1 Tampa Bay and bring up Brock Holt, who's 0 for 1. He's tapped to short. Red Sox with their third hit. Got out fast off the bat of Mitch Moreland. Brock started the day hitting .333 so far this spring.
Brock does what he always does. Plays every once in a while and hits every time he does.
You're a big fan of his game.
I do like the way he plays. No question about it. Like his approach at the plate, how he approaches every at-bat.
He'll take a walk. Sandy Leon will be next. Sandy is flying to right, 0 for 1 today.
It's interesting to see how different teams attack hitters. You know, if you're going to shift on a guy, does that mean you're going to try to throw the ball away from him, hoping that he'll always try to pull the ball no matter what, and you'll get weak ground balls? Or if you're going to put a shift on like they are for Sandy, do you pitch him in, trying to get him to hit right into the shift? And that was the situation with Moreland. Put a shift on him, but then they throw him a pitch that he likes to hit, middle in. I think you have to approach each hitter differently depending on what you're trying to get him to do. Now with 2 strikes, no shift.
Decent hole on that right side, though. With Brock Holt being held. Not running. Another foul. Right-hander Andrew Kittredge made his major league debut last year with Tampa Bay, went 0-1 in 15 appearances, but a 1.76 ERA, so they give him a long look.
Power arm.
Kittredge, the youngest of 7 children, including 5 sisters. So he didn't see the bathroom until he was about 14. 0-2. Popped up foul off third. That'll drift out of play. Not saying it means a whole lot. Spring training standings. No one spends more than a couple of seconds glancing over those, but the Orioles in the American League have the best record at 13-8. Red Sox are second at 12-8, tied with the Yankees, actually. In the East, Houston has the best overall record at 15-6, and he got a piece of that one to hang in there.
It's not like a shield.
Houston going to be very good again.
Certainly think the records in spring training are a real bad indication of what's going on. You're just playing too many people. Your regulars aren't playing that often. You got guys deciding games that are going to be in Double-A.
2 strikes on Sandy. Brock Holt off first, nobody out, and down he goes. 1 man away. Red Sox spring training games on NESN are brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. We've got games throughout the weekend. Next Thursday on Boston 25, and that will be Jerry Remy's spring training color man debut. He's been a guest in the booth, but it'll be the first time he'll be analyzing the game next Thursday. And we'll be on Boston 25. Devin Marrero flirting with a bunt and a strike.
You're good.
Brock Holt has attempted a stolen base, but I think it was the back end of a broken hit and run play. He was thrown out badly. You can see in the replay that he was peeking in to see if the ball was going to be hit. You generally see Brock taking off trying to steal a lot of bases.
Los amigos umpires que andan jugando, con los mismos umpires también que andan cuando juegan, ¿no?
And Kittredge with a 1-1. Not to be made and picked. Brock Holt will be run down by Miller, who tags him. 2 down. So now the base is empty for the Red Sox.
Now for a big guy, Kittredge is pretty quick to first base. Threw over there a couple times, caught Brock leaning the wrong way. Watch him. Wow. Definitely leaning the wrong way. I don't know if he was thinking about going there or not, or just going to get his secondary lead. Got cut off too far.
Fly ball pretty well hit, but Snyder with room back there. Retires the side. Red Sox get one on the Mitch Moreland line drive home run to right field. It's a 3-1 game. Coming your way, Tampa Bay with a 3-1 lead on the Sox. Season ticket plans provide fans with the best seats, price, and benefits the Red Sox have to offer. Plans start at 10 games. They're available right now. For more information, go to redsox.com/season tickets, or you can call 877 Red Sox 9 today. Matt Barnes back out there for another inning of work. The Red Sox on the board, courtesy of this gentleman who is joining us now downstairs, Mitch Moreland. Mitch, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
Nice swing. That felt awfully sweet, I'm betting.
Yeah. I hadn't had too many of those so far this spring, so it's nice to get one like that and finish off the day.
When you do that and you walk away at the end of the day, you got to feel like, yep, I did what I had to do today. I got a good swing. I made really good contact, got us on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that's kind of the whole point of this, as far as trying to get yourself ready and just kind of find that time and get back into that game rhythm. And to get one like that is it's nice. It's something to build on and go into tomorrow with.
Mitch, we watched you hit double after double last season off the left field wall, and your ability to hit the ball the other way. Are you surprised when they shift on you?
Not really. Mainly just because I don't hit ground balls that way. It's more, if I do hit the ball to the opposite side, it's usually either line drive or got some air under it. So the ground balls I do hit seem to find that one guy that they keep over there. But it's one of those things. There's so much technology and scouting out there now that they've kind of got the ground balls down to a science where guys hit them.
I'm always interested in how they pitch a guy. I mean, obviously they shift you over to there. Do they pitch you in to try to get you to hit into the shift, or do they pitch you away and hope you're going to roll over into it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they mix a lot of hard and soft on me too, just trying to get me either out front or beat me with something in. So probably more. They mix it up. Guys have different game plans, but more than anything, it's just trying to disrupt my timing a little bit and get me to hit something on the ground into where they've got their strength as far as the defense goes.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, those are better. I'd rather hit them like that when they got the shift on.
That's what Ted Williams used to say. They can't play high enough.
Yeah, when you're hitting them up there by that red seat, it's tough to defend that.
What do you think now? You've been at Fenway enough in your career, and obviously last year, Mitch, you look back at that red seat, you're like, is that legit?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd have to hit it twice to get it up there, I think. But that's pretty good ways.
Hey, what was your off season like as a free agent? Did you think there was a time, Mitch, that you were not going to return to the Red Sox?
I didn't know. After going into last year and going through it, or I guess 2 years ago now, and going through that process, I had no clue how it would happen. You really just, especially the way things have gone in the last couple years, the way they've trended towards what's going on, you just got to keep an open mind, man, and You know, I was thinking about my family, and you know, a place. I mean, winning's always huge to me. A team that's got a chance, and I mean, I love playing here. So, you know, great group of guys. It's great to be back with those guys, and you know, it's just it's unbelievable place to play. So when the opportunity came, I jumped at it.
Where was the other interest from?
You know, a lot of interest this year compared to last year, or this past year compared to 2 years ago, I guess. But the offers were a little bit, you know, kind of slower, but more teams called. It seemed like everybody was playing that waiting game, and you know, when I saw that going on, obviously, and I got an opportunity to come back here and a place I love playing, I had to make a move.
But got to be tough on your family, your wife, Susanna, and your kids. I mean, you don't know where you're going to be, right? For until spring training almost comes. That's got to be very tough on a family.
Yeah, I mean, it can be, and we actually added another to the family with my third, another little boy. So
congratulations.
So to get thank you. To get that out of the way and be able to kind of go the rest of the off season and just spend the family time, it was nice. So you know, having that opportunity was nice.
Well, the Red Sox delighted to have you back. Obviously, you play a great first base, and you seemed really comfortable at Fenway Park, and then the toe injury happened, and you had to carry that thing around for months.
Yeah, it's still on my foot, believe it or not. Yeah, no, it was one of those things. You know, I felt like, you know, I could make something out of it, and try to fight through it and battle. And my mentality is it's a lot more fun playing this game than it is watching. So. I tried to go out there and help my team win, whether it was, you know, obviously I didn't bring a whole lot to the plate, which I wish I could have done more during that time, but, you know, in other ways, any way I could to try to help us win a game, that's what I was trying to do.
By the way, looking at this ball club, this should be a lot of fun this season.
Absolutely.
It gets underway here. How good is this team going to be?
Oh, man, it's exciting. You know, we've got a really good lineup. You know, we've got guys that can steal bases, you know, set the table, but it seems like all our table setters hit homers. You know, it's going to be a fun team to watch. Obviously, our starting pitching's unreal, our bullpen's unreal. There's really no weak link. So, you know, I think the sky's the limit for us, and we're ready. I mean, counting down the days, you know, ready to get out there and get it going for real.
Has Alex Cora had any conversations with you about potential playing time? Obviously, with you over there at first, and Hanley the ability to play first as well, and now with JD joining the team, there's running out of spots for guys to play, and everyone wants to be out there. Has he said anything to you?
He hadn't, and he doesn't need to. You know, since I've came to the big leagues, my whole career, I've had somebody that I've platooned with, or the word they would compliment, or whatever it was, and you know, I'm still out here getting to play, and those guys have had great careers too, and you know, we're a great team. Great teams have a lot of good players, so you know, we're excited about the opportunity, and winning is the main goal, so we'll work on that.
Mitch, great to have you back. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Mitch Marlin with a bomb. Today, it is 3-1 Tampa Bay.
Today we
Last half of the 6th, Red Sox coming up trailing 3-1 to Tampa Bay. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin on your St. Patrick's Day in today's Red Sox spring training game. Brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. Sports, concerts, theater, and more. Ace has the best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS right now.
Hey, Jackie, did you like the dog last night?
Ryan Stanek's coming out of the bullpen. A lot of long hair.
Yes, he does.
He's got the flow going.
Thor.
Eduardo Nunez, first man in against him here in the 6th inning.
Stanek had a good year last year in Durham. Got banged around pretty good when he got his chance up with Tampa Bay. Through just 20 innings, gave up 26 hits during that time and 13 runs. And an ERA of 1.21 in Durham, however.
Eduardo today with a single and a ground out to short. Jackie Bradley on deck. You're seeing the regulars playing deeper into games at this point in spring training. Our thanks to Joe Kelly and Mitch Moreland for joining us. Really appreciate the visits here at JetBlue by both of those gentlemen. I think you can really sense the enthusiasm that's coming off both of them for the season to come for the 2018 Red Sox.
It was like Mitch said. He goes, hey, we know we're a good team. We want to get to it. Let's get playing. Having some conversations earlier today about the '86 Red Sox team that I played on. It was really one of the few times in my life where I played on a team where we just knew we were really good, and it was going to take something. We felt like we would only beat ourselves. Like, you weren't going to beat us. We might mess up somehow and lose, and if we do, we're going to make you pay for it tomorrow.
Ball 4.
It's a good feeling to have on a team where you show up every day knowing that you have a good chance of winning.
There's a little bit of a feeling too, the Red Sox, that the Yankees have gotten so much publicity, adding the National League MVP and Stanton to already a very good lineup, but Zue Lin coming on to run now for Nunez at first base. And yet the Red Sox are the team that's won back-to-back division titles and added J.D. Martinez. Didn't subtract anybody from last year's team to 193 games. So there's a general feeling of, wait a minute, you know, the Red Sox are the champions of the division.
Yep. Back to back. Headed for a third.
Jackie on the day, a ground out and a strikeout. Ten hits for Tampa Bay. Sox with a light hitting day to this point, except for Mitch Moreland's blast. 3 hits for Boston. And it looks like Alex Cora is going to start making some moves aside from men on the bases. That one into right field. Snyder racing back. That's over his head. Now take a bounce and off into the bullpen. So Jackie able to unload here for a double. Lynn down to third, and the Red Sox are on the move here.
Good big swing by JBJ right there. Terrible jump by Gustavi in the outfield out there trying to make this play. Didn't start moving until the ball was almost past him. That allowed the ball to get over his head and on the ground.
So one of those changes will be Sam Travis. A little bad in Hanley Ramirez's spot. Hanley had a base hit today.
What's up,
Sam, as of late, flashing some power. Now has an RBI chance, second and third for the Sox.
In 4 spring trainings, Sam Travis has hit .336 with 8 home runs down here.
Lucius Fox now the shortstop. Went for the downs on that one. Michael Brusso taking over at first base. JD Martinez in right field today for the Red Sox. He's on deck. So Lynn on at third base and Bradley at second. This one ripped down the line, and that ball is out of here. Sam Travis jumps all over it. And the Red Sox quickly turn this one around. Sam with a 3-run homer to put the Red Sox in front.
Well, he certainly doesn't get cheated up there when he comes to the plate. I already talked about his spring numbers. That's just a nothing fastball up and out over the plate for him. Watch the balance in his swing, how quick his hands are. Line drive right out of here.
Sox in the last 2 innings with a pair of home runs. Travis with his 4th home run. He's now driven in 13 to lead the ball club. He does have good natural power.
It's his 9th home run in the last 4 spring trainings now.
JD Martinez 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly to center.
And they're pounding. Interesting.
Primero lleva la bola, ni le choca, se va más lejos.
4-3 Boston in the 6th inning.
It's like it's going to be a basketball. Get ready to hit it, right? No outs.
A walk, a double, and now a 3-run homer. Onto that left side, and Fox will fire on. Still 1 man gone. Chad De La Guerra now to bat in Xander Bogaerts' position. Xander went 0 for 2 with a couple of flies to center. So both managers going hard to their benches here in the 6th inning.
It's funny, we see Sam Travis down here in spring training every year, and he just seems to crush the ball. And his career high for home runs in AAA is 6. Hit 6 last year. Up and down. Came to Boston for a little while. Didn't hit any home runs in Boston. Hit 6 home runs in 304 at bats in Pawtucket, which is pretty good hitter's park.
But again, here in Florida for this spring training, he has 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Came in hitting .256. Blake Swihart on deck. Blake's hit a couple of home runs.
Couple home runs, 7 doubles.
1-2. He punches that one to the shortstop. And they do get him at first base, so 2 down. Now Swihart to bat in Mitch Moreland's position. Mitch with a home run last time up that he tore into the bullpen in right. Blake in his bid to make the club, hitting .317, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, and as Steve mentioned, 7 doubles. And he's been robbed of a couple potential extra base hits on outstanding defensive plays. So even his outs have been challenges for the defense at times.
Interesting conversation with Rick Porcello the other day. And everyone talks about how the pitchers love to throw to Sandy Leon. They just like his actions back there. They like the way he frames pitches. Vasquez was noted as an excellent defensive catcher. Porcello said, I'll throw to all 3 of those guys. They're all great. He goes, I don't have a problem any of them sitting back there.
On to first and plenty of time to get him. That'll do it. But the Red Sox turn it around. 3-run homer by Sam Travis, who hits number 4, and the Red Sox lead.
Welcome to the 2018.
Top of the 7th, Red Sox with a lead here, 4-3, and always remember it's Ace Ticket, Boston's trusted source for tickets to all Red Sox games and premier events. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Brandon Workman out of the bullpen. Matt Barnes struck out the side in the 6th inning. DeJesus taking over at short. Rusney Castillo is the new center fielder. And a mile-high pop-up off first. Travis along with Leon, and Travis there. One gone. Rusney taking over for Jackie Bradley in center.
This is where my scorecard goes out the window. Not that they're making the replacements, but the guys aren't hitting in the same spots where they're going in defensively for the guy that they came in for.
Zue Lin at second. Scott now in right field, so JD Martinez done for the day. Ryan Scott, number 87. Tampa Bay has doubled up the Red Sox in hits, but the Sox have had the long ball, which they certainly hope is the case in far greater numbers in 2018, and there's every reason to think that'll be the case, especially with the addition of Martinez. But we mentioned Zue Lin at second.
And I think that, just because Martinez gets in the lineup, that doesn't necessarily make everyone better. I tend to think that it generally does, but you and I are in agreement, and I think a lot of people think that everyone's going to take a step forward from their numbers last year, but it still has to happen.
Trying to put him away. Workman's 1-2, and he does. 2 up, 2 down.
Fastball upstairs at 90 miles an hour. Workman has kind of a funky delivery. He's hard to see. Hides the ball well with his body. It's just blowing you away upstairs.
Now batting for the Braves, number 31, the catcher, Adam Moore.
Catcher Moore to bat for Sucre here. Base is empty. 2 down, 4-3 Red Sox. Got a lot of guys in that Red Sox clubhouse who are closely monitoring that NCAA tournament, which kind of went haywire late last night. If you missed it, Virginia, #1 seed, first time in history a 16 seed beat a #1 the NCAA tournament. University of Maryland, Baltimore County shocked them.
And raise your hand if you've never heard of them before.
And brackets exploding all over the country.
And it wasn't close. They blew them out of there. Beat them by 20.
Second half was no contest. UMBC could not miss. Yeah, they were talking about what UMBC stands for, and they were chanting, "You must be Cinderella." And chasing on a pitch down to the dirt, picked up by Leon, and he'll gun him down. And Workman looks very sharp. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Red Sox lead by a 4-3 score.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together
Producer is showcasing the next generation of New England's filmmakers. Today we take a look at the student films from Sacred Heart University and Suffolk University. NESN Next Producer is presented in part by buyatoyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Last half of the 7th. Johnny Venters, who has major league experience last year in the minors, pitched pretty darn well with a 2.28 ERA.
This guy used to be filthy coming out of the pen in Atlanta. Arm problems, sidelined him for a while.
DeJesus will test him here. Sandy Leon is on deck. Four runs, just 5 hits for the Red Sox, but 2 homers. Sam Travis, a 3-run shot. Mitch Moreland with a bullet into the bullpen. Oh-2, punch foul.
Back in 2011, Venters appeared in 85 games for the Braves.
He'll be through for a base hit. Fox with a dive and a miss, and DeJesus is on. Leadoff single in the 7th. Sandy Leon to get his 3rd at bat today. He's gone 0 for 2, a fly to right and a strikeout to this point. Red Sox open up on the 29th of March. So less than 2 weeks away against these Rays at Tropicana Field. After that series, it'll be on to Miami. Two games against the Marlins. And the Red Sox are home for an extended homestand against Tampa Bay, the Yankees, and Baltimore.
Good start.
Sox have an early West Coast swing too. They're going to be going to Anaheim and Oakland. It begins on the 17th of April. Going to take on Mike Trout and the Angels before going to the Bay Area.
And they should be a good club again. The Angels had a pretty darn good season last year with absolutely no pitching. I don't know how they did it.
They've added the Japanese star Ohtani.
Well, we better hold off on calling him a star. Maybe he's a Japanese star. I doubt he's going to be a star right here right away.
Well, that's what I said. I said Japanese star. We'll see, right? In there for a strike. Supposed to throw 97.
They're not seeing much of what anything they like so far. Got hammered the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's gotten off to a very slow start with the bat. Two-way player. But it's spring training. 3-1 to Sandy. In play to short. The second, that's 1, and they will turn the double play. Two-way.
Well, I like the way he turned that double play at short. Dropped to a knee, made an easy throw to second, made it easy for everybody.
Red Sox Nation members can earn loyalty points every time they attend a game at Fenway and watch away games on NESN. They can use these points to redeem items like autographs, memorabilia, and more. Visit RedSoxNation.com to sign up today. Madera with his first at bat. With the bases empty, deep short, cut off nicely. Close play got him at first base to retire the side. And that will do it through 7. Red Sox still up a run on Tampa Bay.
Goodbye sweater, goodbye hat, goodbye.
Remember, you can still register for the 5th annual Watertown Police Finish Strong 5K road race and walk on Sunday, April 29th. The race initially established due to the events occurring in Watertown following the Boston Marathon bombings. Sign up at NESN.com/finishstrong.
Leading off for the Rays, 175, Bell Duhon.
8th inning. Marcus Walden, a right-hander, about to appear in his 6th spring game. Does have 12 strikeouts over 10 innings.
Yeah, he's a power arm, this guy, with nasty breaking ball. See what he did last season.
Hit softly. Lynn will flip on the move to get him. 1 away. Walden allowed his first earned run of the spring on Monday against Toronto.
Red Sox, for the most part today, playing better team defense. That's something that Alex Cora has some concern about, is infield defense.
Of course, no Dustin Pedroia until May. That's one thing, and Rafael Devers still a work in progress there at 21 years old as a defensive third baseman. Still working hard at that. Red Sox have decided they want to back him up a little bit, play him a little deeper at third.
He's got the arm to handle that. I think that giving him an extra bounce on the ball to read everything that's hit to him. You start playing a little shallow at third, that ball gets on you in a heartbeat.
Coates has had a good day. Jason Coates here has 3 hits, 2 singles and a double.
We talk about that defense, and obviously Mitch Moreland out there today made a couple nice plays. Gold Glove first baseman. When Hanley's out there, you lose a little defensively. You and I both thought he had a pretty good year 2 years ago with the glove. Didn't go out to play first base much at all last season with the aching shoulders.
We had Mitch Moreland on with us when he came out of the ball game after ripping a home run, and his attitude is, hey, I've always had guys wherever I've played at a number of stops that's in there for call strike 3 where I've had to platoon with somebody. I've always had situations like that, and things tend to work out.
And he can flat out mash against right-handed pitching too. So I don't think you'll hear a peep out of him. He's not playing as much as he'd like to play. You can tell just by the way he was talking to us that he's a complete team guy first.
Gustave, the right fielder, digs in here with the bases empty. Red Sox up by 1. Pop foul near the dugout of the Tampa Bay Rays. Travis over, but out of his range. Sam Travis with a 3-run homer that put the Red Sox in the lead in the 6th inning.
He had a home run cut on the pitch before the home run. You don't see that too often. A guy takes a huge swing and then gets the opportunity to get another good pitch to hit, and then he hits that ball out of the park. So Travis did.
Golf to right. Scott looking into that sun for the 3rd out. Red Sox pitching continues to be very good. 14 strikeouts for the Red Sox staff today.
Live spring training game action.
Red Sox coming up again with a 4-3 lead on Tampa Bay, and time now for our carrying the freight moment of the game, brought to you by Old Dominion.
Well, that's carrying some freight right there, isn't it? Take a swing like that and hit a ball that far. Goodness. 3-run homer, the difference in this game for the Red Sox.
Put the Red Sox in front for the first time today. Left-hander Kyle Bird now coming out of the bullpen for Tampa Bay on a festive St. Patty's Day. A little color analyst for you. Bird in the minors last year, Double and Triple A, lots of appearances at 2.89 ERA. Taking on Zue Lin. Rusney Castillo on deck, and then Sam Travis again.
You know, when a guy like this comes into a ball game late and you don't really know that much about him. Speaking of Bird. if you just look at the line, you wonder why they do what they did. It didn't happen. Might not have gone this way, but he played almost his entire year in Montgomery and then ended up making one appearance in a game in Durham. Called him up for the last 2 days of the season there, or what? 3 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 hit, 3 runs, so that might have maybe that's why the reason he didn't go back out there.
Just off the corner. 2-2. Red Sox at it again tomorrow over in Bradenton against the Pirates with Brian Johnson on the hill. Steve will have that broadcast as part of our shared broadcast series. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So you'll be working with a play-by-play guy for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Joe Block, I believe. Will Joe Block that game? Yeah.
And is that it for you for the spring?
That would be it.
Wow. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna, I have 3 or 4 more days still to do some reporting on the news. Then I'm going to go home and pack and get ready to come back to Boston.
And for you, that means California.
Indeed.
And then back for the series, which will begin the first home series April 5 against these guys.
I'll be back for opening day down in Tampa, though, of course, just in the studio, pre and post. Yeah, so I'll get back home for about 3 days and pack all my stuff up and get back to Boston.
Rusney comes up empty on that cut. And it's 0-2. Came in hitting .278 with 1 home run so far this spring. He's played quite a bit. And a left center field toward the alley, and that one's going to touch the wall. Castillo to second base. Here's the throw. Nobody there. He's got a double.
Well, that was a strange way to play that ball off the wall. It didn't have anybody at second base. They had 2 cutoff men out there, and then the first baseman trailing into second base. Here's Castillo going down, digging that one out of the dirt almost and hitting it high off the wall.
It almost took the head off of Brousseau, the first baseman coming over to cover.
I have no idea what he's doing over there. That's a very odd way to try to cover that play. And he was clearly late getting there.
Brings up Sam Travis, who raked that 3-run homer last time up. Grounds this one to third. Castillo will hold at second base, and they're 2 away. And the Sox 8th. So Ryan Scott will get an at bat here. Today's Red Sox spring training game in Nesson is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Sports, concerts, theater, and more. Ace has the best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. See Scott at Greenville A-ball last year. Some power, 14 home runs.
Tall, lanky kid.
Bird will not throw the 1-1. 2 down. And the lefty deals. That's a strike. Tim Timmons behind the plate today, along with the other umpires, getting into the festive feel of St. Patrick's Day, going with a green cap. Along with Field and Culbreth, Brian Honora, Sam Holbrook. See plenty of those guys during the regular season. The 1-2 popped him up. Coates in to make the play and retire the side. Red Sox strand one. We'll see if the Sox have enough. Up 4-3 as we go to the ninth. Spring training game on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Boston Red Sox. Been a beautiful St. Patrick's Day. Red Sox leading by 1. Red Sox pitchers have struck out 14 Rays today. And Johnny Field has fanned twice, along with a liner to short.
It's going to be a young team. You're going to see a lot of swings and misses out of them. I think you're going to see a team in New York City that's going to swing and miss a lot too.
But almost everybody does. This day and age in Major League Baseball, strikeouts have gone up every year.
It's not embarrassing to strike out anymore.
Shortstop DeJesus on the move, pretty smooth, and got him. Nice stretch by Travis for the first out.
DeJesus has had a really nice spring.
It's 11 in a row retired by the Red Sox. Sox giveaways returning to Fenway this season include player bobbleheads, gnomes, and much more. For tickets and information on the entire 2018 giveaway lineup, make sure you visit redsox.com/promos. So one away for Fox. Tampa Bay has not had a base runner since the 5th inning. Another very important start for Brian Johnson coming up tomorrow. He'll have that game against the Pirates.
Fight for that number 5 spot in the rotation. Hector Velasquez was supposed to make the start today, but they held him out of it, had him throw a minor league game. So they didn't want him to pitch against the Rays if in fact he's going to be pitching against the Rays in that opening series.
Little mystery.
A little mystery can be good.
It's so good to hear Brian Johnson talking about being in a great frame of mind and enjoying playing baseball. You know, he talked about how his friends teased him with that nickname Bad Luck Brian over the last several years, with all the things that have gone wrong, the injuries, getting hit by a line drive, a carjacking, everything else the poor kid has been through. And came up last year, tossed that complete game shutout, which was a dazzling effort at Fenway Park. It's one of the high water marks of that season for the Red Sox. And now in a position to make the team as a starting pitcher. And he said, I'm enjoying playing baseball again. Loving it.
It shows, I mean.
Hasn't always necessarily been a case. Linda handled that. 2 fast outs here in the 9th inning. A lot of strikeouts as mentioned by Red Sox pitching today. 14.
They blew him away. There's Haley with the big one there, and then Kelly comes in and gets one for himself. Pointer. Barnes struck out 3. Workman with that funky motion that he has, and then Walden.
So 2 down here in the 9th inning. See if Wong is the last man in today. He takes a strike. Sox getting home runs today from Mitch Moreland and Sam Travis. Travis is a 3-run shot over the monster. The difference maker.
14 strikeouts here today. We talked about what I mentioned the Yankees. I really think they're going to swing and miss a ton. They're also going to have days where they score 15 runs. But I think that's a team that could strike out 20 times in a game, a couple times.
As you said, it's the new philosophy today among so many clubs, most clubs, that strikeouts are not embarrassing. It's not a humiliating thing. As long as you hit the long ball and score enough runs to win.
All or nothing.
Big change in the game over the last 4 or 5 years. Here's the 2-1. Linda charged that. That should do it. And the Red Sox win it here on St. Patrick's Day by a final score of 4-3 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Sam Travis right in the middle of it. A victory for Alex Cora and company. Red Sox go to 13-8-1 on the spring. Steve Lyons and Karen Austin. I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Live spring training game action is on now.